Hello friends and welcome. Today we're going to talk about a couple of finds that I came across while I was doing just a little browsing at a couple of my local antique stores. I love the little items that I found, and also I want to talk to you about a new group that I have joined and I'm going to mention to you today. It's wonderful, lots of encouragement and inspiration. Well, good morning everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Marianne and I am aging gracefully. Thank you for returning to those of you that are my subscribers, and to those of you that are new. I hope you'll enjoy the content here. I talk about all types of things: home, personal items, decorating, cooking, baking, cleaning, and things like that, and just being a homemaker and loving it. Today I'm going to talk to you about my preference for decorating and a couple of new items that I found at a local, actually two local antique stores here in my area. Now, for those of you that are my returning subscribers, you know that I am a caregiver for my mom who lives with me in my home, who is currently on hospice. So I literally am pretty much housebound and have been obviously since COVID, and that's basically when she went on hospice. And so I don't get out very much. A little crooked, just adjusting. And last week my husband was home, and so there were a couple of days where he gave me that little bit of opportunity and said, go grab a cup of coffee and just get out for a while. So what I did was I went to a couple of my local antique stores that I just love to walk around, and one is rather new to me. And a couple of weeks ago, when I had one of my nurses that comes in and helps me out a couple of times a week, and I'm able to take that 3 or 4 hours that I get from her, run all my errands. And on one particular day I had a little bit of extra time, and so I came across just this antique store that I really didn't know was there, because like I've said, I've only lived in this area just gonna be, well, actually I went on 3 years in February, and I've had my mom living with me, my elderly mom, so I really haven't had a chance to do a whole lot of exploring except kind of what's local. But I just came across a store and I'm just like, I've never seen that before. And it just looked like from the outside just a little kind of store, and I had about 30 minutes left before I had to get back home, and I went in and it was just a big, huge store, and I was so excited about it. But I really didn't get a chance to, go up and down all the aisles. But anyway, I did come across, and I'm going to put pictures here so you can see a couple of cute little things that just kind of caught my eye. And one in particular is this sweet little, I call her my little old lady with a sheep, and that's kind of what was listed on the label. There is a marking on the bottom of it. I haven't looked it up, but when I saw it, it just made me smile. She was just kind of up on a little, kind of a high top curio, and I just saw her, and the color and just the way she looked, it was just, she reminded me of Tasha Tudor, and it made my heart smile, and I thought, that is adorable. But I put it back and just thought, I'm not really into statues so much, but I kept thinking about it afterwards, and I thought, I really like that little statue. So I just thought, well, next time I get an opportunity and get a chance, I'm going to go back there, see if she's there, and if she is, then I'm going to really think about, do I want to purchase? And so anyways, I got to get out this past week, and I'm excited to share with you a couple of my little finds. And another thing I want to talk to you about is I have joined it's a private group through Facebook, and it's through the Parisienne Farmgirl, where she has started what's called Old World Society, and you can join by, she puts out quarterly magazines. It's the very first time she's ever done it. It is absolutely worth the cost to join the group, and the magazine for the first one is absolutely wonderful. They just came out. You also get a digital version, but it's very much my taste. It's very much what I love. And so I have just received a lot of inspiration and just by chatting with other women in the society, and getting ideas on just different decorating. And I just want to say one thing. I think that we know what our preference is. We know what we like. And for many, many years, probably the first 15 years of my married life, I very willingly accepted everybody else's hand-me-downs. When my family members, like my sister-in-laws, were tired of their decor, they would just get rid of it. Here, you can have it. I'm going to get a brand new couch and love seat and chair, and do you want it? Well, yes, I do, because at that point I was a stay-at-home mom. We were one income, and I did a lot of garage sailing and a lot of thrift shopping. So I was always willing to take their hand-me-downs. But even at that, there's something inside of you that's already there. It's your taste. It's your color. It's your flavor. It's what really makes you feel comfortable and cozy, and it's your style of decorating. And I think we get caught up with Pinterest and decorating magazines and designs and styles and fashion and what's in and what's out. And somewhere along the line, for me, I kind of lose what I really like. And so I'll try to adapt to what's current. Oh, this color's in now. Oh, look, you can add plaids to polka dots. Oh, this is here, this is there. So I've always loved the color blue. It's always been something I have favored, but I grew up in a household where my mother loved green. She loved avocado green, mint green, so everything was done in green. I think I decided I didn't like green, but I do like blue. And so for a while, I accented a lot in blue, and then back in the 80s, mauve was very popular and different shades of it, and so I tried to accent with blue, and then, it wasn't really stylish to like blue, but green was in, hunter green, forest green. So you change, and the easiest way to make those changes really is through throws, pillow covers, different little accents like that, and then live with it to see if it's something that it makes you feel comfortable or it's soothing to you. And so many times I've just tried to go with the change and the flow, and been sadly disappointed. So I guess I like to say that my taste at this point is very eclectic. I love mixing and matching woods. Now, at one point in the fashion world, mixing and matching woods was a big no-no. Now it's much more acceptable. So I'm okay with pecan wood, oak, pine, and mixing and matching. I'm okay with painted wood and natural wood. There are certain pieces that I would never, ever, ever put paint on, and there are many pieces that I have put paint on. One of them happens to be my Hoosier, and I'll show a picture here. I have talked about this Hoosier. This is an oak Hoosier. It was built back in the 40s. I bought it at an antique store in Illinois. The vendor was going out of business, had a big reduction on it, and it did have some wear on it. The wood was starting to lift, peel a little, but for the most part, it was a solid piece of oak wood. and I wanted to buff it up. And so what I did was I kind of distressed it in a black oil gel, and then I sanded the edges down, and I absolutely love it. I left the rolling piece that comes down in its natural oak, but I love that piece, and I had no problem changing the composition of it by adding a little bit of gel stain paint to it. My kitchen table, and here's a picture of it here, is Amish made, and it's a piece of tobacco barn, and it was put together, lathed together, and then the legs are black, and so I picked up a set of 4 kitchen chairs to match in black. So I have these accents in my kitchen, and my cabinets happen to be white, but I like this particular style for inside my kitchen. However, my dining room table is also an Amish made table, and I love it. It's beautiful. I don't have a dining room officially, but I've made a part of my living room into my dining area, and that is a solid oak table, and it has a scalloped edge on it, and I'll put a picture of it here, and that's solid oak. I would never ever put wood on it, paint on it, ever, or stain. No, just leave it in its natural beautiful state. And also my pie safe, I would never consent to painting it. I know in my mind I can see it all dented and scuffed up and paint on it and to made to look old, but I just can't do it. There are certain pieces I can't. Now I have a few of these accent little tables that I've bought along the way at garage sales or TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and you know, they both were black. They had a couple scratches on them. For the price, I took them home and repainted them myself. I had two faux bookshelves that I spent last summer. I've done videos on it. I'll link it below. I painted those. That's okay. I like the accent, but just certain pieces that, yeah, I'm not going to touch with paint. So my style is eclectic. I will mix and match woods and put things together. And yes, I finally was able to purchase a brand new living room set for the first time after 10 years of marriage. And since then, I have owned a couple of new pieces. And so my living room couch is a circular couch. It happens to be a lazy boy, and the material that it's very durable, and it's a very unique color. It was called cashmere, but depending on the light that's coming into the room, it either has a very greenish light type tint or beigey tint, sometimes a little oatmealish looking. So there is a variety of colors that complement that couch, and I've pretty much done many of them. Right now I am accenting in mustard yellow and navy blue, and I picked up another chair that belonged to my mom that she had in her sitting room that we had to bring in a hospital bed, so I just put it out in the living room. It's gold, and it has that old look to it on the material, and I thought, ugh, this is not for me. But once I put it in the living room next to my couch, I was like, I like it. I like it a lot. So sometimes it's just a matter of seeing something in a different area. And then, of course, my lovely two pieces that I just love came from my home as I was growing up. These two pieces, the chair and the ottoman and the pecan table, were my parents' main living room furniture, and they had it since they were married before I was born, and I always loved those two pieces. I have many pictures, family pictures of those two particular pieces with me having pictures taken sitting on them, since they have had those pieces are over 60 years old. They've had the chair recovered, and my mom picked it up into a green leather and had it reupholstered because it went with hers. Not my style of color, but it actually is a really beautiful color, and it accents in the living room so well. And when I look at it, I am reminded of my dad. He sat in that chair a lot. He loved it. I love it, and it's very comfortable, and I love the table. So it will always be a part of my main living area. But so that's kind of my taste. And I just want to say that I am being re-encouraged at this point to add more dimension with fabric and pictures, photos, and not necessarily modernized, but old. And that is my style. And I like doilies. I like those types of things on end tables. And other people think and look at it as, oh my gosh, this is so outdated, so old. But I love it. I think it polishes, adds to, and I like the way it looks. And I think that's what's important, is what do you see that you like? It's okay to add a few modern pieces to your style. So I would say I have an open concept home because my house is only 3 years old. And I, at one point, my husband and I, we bought a house that was built like back in 1906, I think, 1907. And we did a lot of refurbishing to it. We lived in it for 10 years. Beautiful, beautiful home. But my taste is that of wood, country, love Amish type furniture, farmish, antique-y. That's my taste. And I do like to introduce a little bit of the modern with it. And I think now it's very popular to mix and match, but I guess it just depends on your taste. So I want to share with you today what I purchased on my last trip out, and I'll explain to you in the pictures as I display them. I found a adorable, it was called a copper, I think it said fireplace cooker, open fire cooker, and I loved it. Not to use to cook in a fireplace because I have a gas starter fireplace, but I just wanted to hang it next to my fireplace. It was reasonably priced. I think I paid like $8 for it, and it just adds that little bit of old to a newer styled fireplace. And so I was able to purchase that. I found these really pretty table, you can either say they're napkins or placemats, but I wasn't going to use them for that. I wanted to use them to drape over my little end tables or my chair to add a little bit of the burgundy-ish and green colors that I have in the living room, and to pick up that yellow from my pillows, which are in a mustard type color. And I have a couple of an end table and a little stool, and I'll show you those that are done in a light yellow paint that I painted and distressed, because I think yellow brings light into a room, and it just makes you feel good, like the sun. So I like having a splash of yellow around. And I also found this old picture, and it's called, I think there's an inscription on the back that says a helping hand, and it's a picture of like a grandpa and a granddaughter, and they're on a boat. The frame is very, very old, and it says made in Hong Kong, and there's actually a name on the back and the year, and it's named, I think, the artist, but I paid $5 for it, and I knew it would look so cute on my bookshelf. So I am going to be looking up the inscription on the back to see what I can find out about it. But I just love it. I love the old, tattered, kind of a broken up frame, and the picture just spoke to me. And the other piece, of course, that I picked up is my little old granny. And I knew when I went back the second time, I went specifically looking, and I couldn't find her. And I thought, oh, she's gone, because the area that I was in, I thought she used to be right around here, and I don't see it, so she's just gone. Then I went around the corner, and I thought, oh, there's one more aisle. And there she was, sitting on this curio in the back, and I knew, you are coming home with me, and I am going to find the perfect place. So she's the old granny with a sheep looking adoringly up at her. She reminds me so much of Tasha Tudor, and I placed her on my pie safe next to my grandmother's old yellowware bowl. And every time I see it, it just makes me smile. And that's what style is about. That's what it does for you. It just makes you smile. It does something inside. It's not one of those things you're scratching your head and going, don't know if I really like this, but I'm going to try to redecorate and do that. Oh, I don't know. When you find something and your eyes attracted to it, your heart communicates loud. And I just think sometimes we get so caught up in all of I love Pinterest. I love it. I have boards on Pinterest. I just pin things that I like. And I think you get great ideas on Pinterest. But don't change what is you because it's the current style. Same with clothing. We get into some of the current styles, and then we just realize I am so uncomfortable every time I wear this. One other item I found that it just caught my eye, and I'm going to show you a picture of it here. I've had these nesting bowls. They're Pyrex nesting bowls since 1978, and they were my first set of bowls that I bought when I set up my apartment. Used them for several years, loved them, learned a big lesson because there was another bowl that was a bigger bowl. I do not believe it was part of the nesting bowl set, but it was the same bowl but bigger. And I thought, well, since it's Pyrex and can go in the oven, it surely can go on the burner, right? Wrong. And I decided to mix my gravy up right on the burner, and it was like an atomic bomb went off. Boom! It exploded, gravy went all over, the bowl split, and thankfully I did not get hurt. It splattered everywhere, but kind of splattered outward. I was very lucky. And the good thing about me is I do something stupid once, I usually don't do it twice. So after using those bowls for a number of years, I didn't like them anymore. I wanted to update with what was modern. And what was coming out back then was, again, a rejuvenation of Fiesta ware. And the colors, and then other bowls that were decorated with cherries or strawberries and little garden scenes. And so, I passed them down. Said, Mom, do you want these bowls? Sure. She took them. And she used them for many years and didn't understand why I didn't want the bowls. And when my mom moved in with me 5 years ago, and we were cleaning through, oh no, I take that back. After my dad passed, she lived in their home that they had built for another 10 years. And when we moved her from there to her retirement apartment, I found these 3 nesting bowls in her back cupboard, because once it just was her and she wasn't cooking as much, she would just use one simple little Pyrex bowl that she had. And I thought, I am going to reclaim these. Why did I give them away? Because I was young and always wanted to modernize what was up and coming then. And so I have fallen in love with very many different bowls of many different types, and I have them still to this day. I love country bowls. I love yellowware. I love mason bowls. But these 3 bowls are beige in color and have a blue motif on them, and I use them all the time now. And so when I was at this newer antique store that's newer to me, I came across these 2 mixing bowls. I'll show you the picture of them here. And they match that set. They were $4 a piece, and I'm like, yes, I want to add to that set, because perfect size, and I have them displayed in my Hoosier, and I just love it. I just love and get excited about little things like that. And you know, for a long time, I think I felt kind of like, oh, I have to modernize, because when you don't modernize, you know, sometimes family members make comments like, why do you still have doilies on your table? Don't you know that's out of style? And yeah, it might be, but it's in style. It's my style. So that is a pretty big lesson to learn. Go with what makes you happy, what makes your heart smile, and what just makes your house feel cozy to you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I plan on doing a few more videos to show you some of my mix and matching of furniture in upcoming videos, and some of my other finds that I have found through garage sailing and have turned into little treasures. So until my next video, be kind, be humble, and age gracefully. Bye.